Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello. Let's just give everyone a couple of minutes just to join us, and then we'll get this party started. Good afternoon, Werner. Good day in Joburg today.
How are you doing?
Good afternoon, my friend. Good afternoon. We're up to 44. Just give the guys a couple of minutes or two. While we're waiting for everyone, did everyone get their nice Uber vouchers? Hope you guys have got your lunch ready to rock and roll and have an absolutely awesome session this afternoon. So thank you to my ladies for organizing the Uber vouchers, guys. Thank you very much. Morning, Bretsky, or good afternoon, Bretsky. There's Brett, there's Kevin. We're up to 50. Let's give it a minute or two, and then I think we'll get this party started. To 55, I think. Let's get to 60, because a couple of people have just told me saying they're a couple of minutes late, and then we will get the show on the road. Morning, Kev. Or afternoon, Kev. It's 12:02.
Just about, Louis. How's it going?
How are you, my friend? All good? All good?
No complaints, eh?
Nice, nice, nice. Any Cape Townians on the call, eh? How's the weather in Cape Town? Hot?
Humid.
Rainy.
So
Hot and humid, eh? Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Alrighty, guys. We're up to 60 people. I think let's get this party started. My name is Louis Jardim. I'm the co-founder of Torito, and I'll be the host for this afternoon for the Bits and Bytes event. Before we get started, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has joined us this afternoon. This is officially our highest attendance in terms of Bits and Bytes, so we really appreciate you guys taking the time out and joining us for this insightful session this afternoon. Today's topic will be covering practical SASE implementation strategies and real-world FortiSASE deployment patterns. This is a topic that I'm deeply passionate about, and I guess the speaker also shares the same passion. I'd like to introduce you guys to Warren Cusens from Fortinet. Warren looks after Fortinet's universal SASE product pillar as a systems engineer for South Africa and SADC. Warren has worked on with systems, networks, and security from an SMB to enterprise, both as a client and as a service provider. He's passionate about solving business and technical challenges with technology. So Warren, over to you, buddy. So guys, just before Warren gets started, we're going to try to keep it as interactive as possible. I know I've already got quite a few questions from clients, so if you have any questions, please put it in the chat. I have Jessica that will be monitoring the chat if any questions arise. So I'm going to hand over to Warren. Warren's going to work his magic. And then what we will do is we'll leave a Q&A for the last 10 to 15 minutes. Warren, over to you, buddy.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for the introduction, Louis. Great to be here. Welcome, everybody. Let's get right into it. I'm going to turn my camera off and start presenting. So let me do that. There we go. Let's move this across. So again, today we're going to be focusing on SASE or Unified SASE from Fortinet. And we're going to start off with just a bit of history, give you a bit of a landscape into our history as an operating system or as a security vendor in the space that we see ourselves in. Back in the 2000s, we started with the stateful firewall. in 2005, which is quite relevant, we implemented URL filtering on our FortiGate firewalls, along with RPS and RPSec. So that was really the start of our web filtering journey. And as you'll know, Louis, I mean, if you think about what SSE does in the cloud, this is where we actually deployed our first SSE point of presence in America. If we fast track from 2005 to 2018, I mean, we've had all this growth of our operating system, taking in the SSL scanning, sandboxing, OT security, the SD-WAN as well. I mean, if you think about SD-WAN, you can see there's a bullet point there for 2015, but you can see the actual graph itself comes to 2014. Yeah, we had something called link load balancing and policy-based routing, which is basically the precursor to SD-WAN. And SD-WAN as an actual interface on our OS was relevant in 2015. And I mean, you'll know we've been the market leader for quite some time in that space. But just again, just to show you the market share that we have, over 50% of the world's firewalls are with Fortinet. We've got a large enterprise penetration in SD-WAN, and the SASE penetration is growing year on year. So again, deep packet inspection, sovereign SASE is something new as well. So I mean, our MSSPs love this. They can, in essence, take our product and actually build their own POPs with it throughout any territory as well. So that was introduced last year too. So just to give you history, that's where we were, where we've come from, and how we've grown this operating system from just, you know, stateful firewall with URL filtering into then our first SSE POPs, which FortiSASE is actually an SSE. So when we talk about FortiSASE as a product, that is an SSE offering, that's Secure Services Edge. We're going to go through a bunch of acronyms here. I don't know if the audience knows all of them, so I'll pause just to take you through them so that we know what we're actually talking about. When we look at Fortinet as a leader or as our position with Gartner, you can see that this was in 2024. 2025 was pretty much the same thing. Big leader gap there between us and the competitive space in SD-WAN. And then if you look at SASE platforms, this is a new sort of quadrant from Gartner. Previously, it was just SSE or single vendor SASE, but you can see there's a handful of players there, like 4, literally. And that's because we offer a platform from SD-WAN to endpoint to SSE, to analytics, to management. And we're going to go through all of that. Gartner rates us pretty highly. They give us a leader board position. Even from our peers or peer insights, that's customers that are actually willing to rate our products. We are actually the leader in the SD-WAN, SSE, and ZTNA quadrants as well from the peer insights. That's the Customer Choice Awards. Now, what we find in and around our current trajectory and markets is that we have a lack of visibility, lack of control, so many different apps, so many different users using different operating systems, different locations, different connectivity mediums. These are challenges that we need to overcome for the security space, for visibility, and for analytics, right? So we have that we've got other piecemeal of different products that have come together to offer I wouldn't say a turnkey offering. We are one of those 4 vendors that offer the turnkey offering, as you saw in that platforms quadrant. But again, it's to try and marry all of that together to give you the best return on investment and then also the lowest total cost of ownership. We try and encompass all of that in our product sets. And, you know, from the start, we were and we always have been a security vendor at the very beginning. So bring that in mind when you're thinking about different product sets and different vendors out there. We also we pride ourselves in this performance throughput. I mean, our products have always been great with SSL inspection. We see that with other products, once you turn on that SSL inspection, you do see that there is performance degradation or drop with the throughput that is available on certain hardware. We've seen that with our firewalls through and through. This could potentially give you an inconsistent user experience depending on where the users are, what OS they're coming from, what browsers they're using. These are all different elements that are challenges that we solve with our product set and with our platform. Now, what I want to show you today is our FortiSASE offering. As you can see on the screen here, FortiSASE in brackets SSE, that is Secure Services Edge. What is Secure Services Edge? Secure Services Edge is taking that security and putting it in the cloud, actually connecting your users to a cloud scrubbing center or POP, point of presence location, with built-in management. I mean, there's many features we can go through, Louis. I mean, all the vendors are pretty similar in their feature shootout. I mean, one is sometimes a leader above others, and sometimes we have a situation where, we win the lead on maybe our CASB, and then, someone else will come up and they don't have CASB now, they've got CASB. CASB, just for the audience, is Cloud Access Security Broker. So think about being able to control allowing WhatsApp web, but not only that, allowing the WhatsApp web text to go through, but not voice, or just allowing the voice and text, but not file transfer, or even with stitching in a little bit of DLP, which is data leak or data loss prevention, actually allowing the transfer of certain files, but not documents. So maybe we'll allow JPEG images, but we won't allow DocX or Excel or those types of things. So I'm going to quickly Alt tab here, or this Windows tab. I want to show you the actual platform itself. So I've got two Windows or two platforms open at the moment. They're two separate instances. You can see I've actually logged in here to FortiView on FortiSASE. So I want to show you the actual POP itself. So I've logged into the management plane of FortiSASE. And if you've ever worked on a FortiGate, I mean, a lot of this is going to be familiar to you. You will know your FortiView. FortiView's been around probably for 10 years. And I mean, you can start driving around and deep diving into the actual configuration here and double clicking and seeing the user sessions, seeing the sources, checking where the guys are going. So a real live analytics and visibility to see what's going on, the amount of sessions, the users, the POPs that they're coming from as well. So FortiView, FortiGate, you'll know it's the same thing. We've got some dashboards here. The same thing when you log into a FortiGate itself, you've got the same dashboards, overview status, POP health. You can see the amount of total clients that are connected, edge devices. We can have a look at the security tab, which then tells us about viruses, RPSs. We do have built into this product a vulnerability analytics system. So FortiClient sits on your end user machine, and from there actually checks your machine to see if you've got any type of critical, high, medium, low vulnerabilities on your machine. So, I mean, that can be shown even to you with my current setup here. If I look at the vulnerabilities that I have, this is my machine, and from there it did a scan this morning, and it's picked up that there's 10 vulnerable applications here, third-party apps, and it's my VirtualBox. So I need to go and patch this VirtualBox. I'm actually using this VirtualBox as part of this demonstration today, but if there is a playbook for it, you can actually just go and install the patch automatically here as the end user if you had admin rights, or you could push this from the platform too. So you could also actually set that there's an auto remediate or auto patching of this from your operation center, from your FortiSASE operation center. So those are just like little things that I can show you really just from the FortiSASE management plane. And then we're going to go through these use cases one by one to try and just give you some insights as to, how you connect into this platform. So without further ado, we're going to look at SIA. SIA is Secure Internet Access. So what is that? That is taking your FortiClient. So that's where you would run an agent. We've got something called agent and agentless. We're going to go into the two now. But I've got my VM here. Let's just find it quickly. It's this guy here, running Windows 10 still. And from there, you can see I'm actually connected. I can use entry credentials. You can see that's Office Microsoft setup. I can disconnect this VPN if I want to. You can see I'm currently connected with this public IP. If I had to disconnect this IP now, or this VPN, I would potentially not get that IP. I also want to show you, I've got some rules, and we'll go through this in a sec, but in essence, the client automatically, for secure internet access, connects and auto-connects into the POP. You can control that behavior from a boot up procedure so that when the user starts his machine, sorry, I've just got some audio. When they start their machine, they actually connect automatically into the POP. You can control that, and I want to show you that on the actual platform itself. when you look at endpoint management, endpoint profiles here, on your profile configuration, this is for your endpoints. You can see you can do different endpoints for different user groups. We're busy testing with another batch of LDAP-enabled users. But under default here, this is the profile I'm hitting. I can go and set that this VPN must be a manual VPN or automatic VPN. If I set it to automatically, what will happen is you can actually then allow the users to disconnect or not to disconnect. So you can actually force that it's an always on, always up VPN. That's typically what we see from our deployments. And then with that being said, what will happen is the user does not have the ability then to disconnect that VPN. Let me just try to find that machine now quick again. There it is. So if I had to change this would be a situation where I can actually take away that disconnect. So if I applied this configuration here to actually say automatic and don't show this, let's just do it for the sake of the demonstration. So I'm going to leave it to automatic, and it will always, well, I need to disconnect actually to show you something. So I won't do that right now. But anything that's on your profiles that you want to now do from our product, you can go and touch and update. I'm going to show you that now. We have got included next generation antivirus. I'm going to go through some features and some licensing options for you guys a little bit later. But you can see we include ransomware. We do scheduled scanning. There's the patching. So the automatic patching, we can do critical, high, low. Anything that now is a client or anything with FortiClient installed on this SIA, as soon as you got this, you can start playing around then with the actual patching or ransomware, sandboxing as well. We support sandboxing. You can turn that off. If you've already got a Fortinet sandbox, you can use the standalone sandbox. You can exclude certain files. You can set the type of notifications and then quarantine or alert. Even the verdict level, clean, low, medium, high, or malicious. You can exclude certain files from sandbox. You can then also go and have a look and create zero trust network access proxies. I'll touch on that later, but you can see we can also then show those security tags, and I'll show you where and how we do that in a sec. But the idea here is, in essence, to secure the user. What do we want to do? If we go to a gambling website, we want to see that there's a block page. If we start searching for like a keyword, even like Tesla, I think I said Tesla is a keyword, yeah, that now we're searching Google for, you can see actually this page has been blocked because it has a blocked word. So we are going to do that. And this is key. When you look at this product that we have, everything hits your firewall as a service, sort of ACL. So everything else is stitched into that. If I could give you really a high level of the product itself. So looking at that, that is under security traffic policies. We're looking at the secure internet access here at the top. And that is this use case, secure internet access, anything with an agent coming into the POP. There's other things I'm going to show you now later, but in essence, this is where you can say, oh, this is using my my denial side. I'll come and show you that a little bit later. Let's get Chrome up here. Sorry, it's this one. Yes, so this is the more built out FortiSASE instance that I want to show you. You can see I've clicked on policies. I've gone to secure internet access over here at the top. I'm going to have a whole bunch of firewall rules. We're actually doing some type of restriction here for certain countries. Something that's pretty cool is we can fingerprint in the ARC payload what the user's public IP is. And based on that user's geography, we can say, okay, you get applied a certain traffic profile. So anyone from the UK with the source of the UK and they're compliant, there's something else I need to show you now, compliant from a zero trust network access tag. We're going to come back to that in detail. But in essence, it's either permit or deny, right? You can see there's permit, 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 and right at the bottom, you'll have your implicit deny. We could float another deny here on top. like I have, and I've got a quick demo that I want to show you because I don't have access to actually make changes here. But on my other side, and this is why I've actually built this out with this guy, you can see I've got a deny non-compliant here. And we're going to go through that, and I'm actually going to show you that if a zero trust network access tag gets matched, we're going to actually start denying traffic. So there's ways we can do that. So again, it's taking this user, getting him into the internet, getting him into the cloud. The way we can control that is then going into, and you can see I've got, for my initials, WMC, Warren Cusens, I've got AV enabled, web filter, intrusion prevention, SSL. These you can turn on and off according to your user groups, according to your certain desktops that you want. Maybe you've got Linux profiles, maybe you've got Mac profiles, maybe you've got Windows profiles. We can assign that and mix it up as you will or as you want to. All of that is fine. Like that I've configured under profile group is actually a security profile. So when you look under security profiles, you'll see there's default internet access here. I want to go and have a look at my WMC policy. So where did I block and how did I block that Tesla little search? I went into the web filter with inline CASB. And from there, we're going to go see I've got a gambling. Anyone that obviously has played around with Fortinet, FortiGates before will know FortiGuard Labs. FortiGuard Labs underpins all our blocking, all our RPS, all our AVs. And you can see what we've done here is even from gambling, we're blocking gambling. So that's how I was able to block that page, Louis, just a little bit earlier. And if I go to my expressions, you can see I actually put a keyword there, Tesla. That's how I was able to block the Tesla search on Google. Now, you can see there's invalid URLs, there's safe words, there's safe search, rating errors allow or don't allow. So if you have a rating error, you actually want this off. So we could actually go and actually turn that off. So that is then for the web filter. We can actually stitch in CASB headers here. So the CASB headers can be like, okay, well, we'll allow Warren to go to Office 365, but only the Office 365 for Fortinet. We will not allow him to go to any other type of domain. And that is, if we go, yeah, you would actually then go and actually put in the header name and the header content. And you can actually then set the destinations up as you would for then like logon.microsoft.com, for instance. But you could actually go and create your own with those header policies. So that's just on your web filtering. I mean, the same thing for antivirus. What are we doing for viruses on the wire? If anything goes through this tunnel, okay, up to the POP, that's got any type of antivirus in it for these particular protocols like SMTP, POP3, RMAP, HTTP, we can grab that and we can see, hey, there's a virus there and we can stop it. I'm going to show you that, Nana, in a demo. And also what I want to show you is like this RPS pin. So you can also then use all these other engines for intrusion prevention, like, recommended, critical, monitor, custom. You can add your custom RPS signatures, really go and tweak what you want. DLP, you can actually say, okay, don't allow transfer of Word documents or Excel files. You can also go and say, don't allow keywords like Tesla, like I showed you earlier, to get placed into things like ChatGPT. We can block like ChatGPT. And one of the key things as well, I mean, we spoke about this earlier. One of the articles that we saw floating around just like a week or two ago was, this cyber chief in Trump's administration having uploaded sensitive documents into the public version of ChatGPT. Now, he actually went and requested that the MIS, or the Managed Information Systems team, allow him access to ChatGPT, and he went and, I mean, go read through this article, guys. But I mean, what are your users doing? Are you allowing them access to these Gen AI tools? Or are you blocking them? Or are you restricting them? I mean, are you able to do certain keyword blocking towards the cloud here? So, I mean, if they're doing anything for your company name, right, you can go on the DLP engine here. On app control and on web filtering, a combination of DLP, you can craft that ChatGPT perhaps is allowed, but you cannot use certain keywords, or you can't search for certain strings, or you cannot upload documents to ChatGPT. So those are
and that's a big problem at the moment. A lot of our clients are having challenges where people are uploading financial statements or doing these awesome company presentations on the public ChatGPT without the users actually knowing that they're putting it out there. So that data becomes
100%.
vulnerable and anyone finds it, right?
100%, exactly that. So, I mean, when we think about that, you want to limit the user's accessibility towards those platforms, either restrict them entirely, because your IP just disappears. I mean, this is what we're seeing. I mean, that's your biggest exfiltration threat at the moment. Guys are worried about a threat actor coming into the network, right? I'm going to touch on that later because we're going to talk about exfiltration too. But the biggest challenge now is users not even knowing. They're like just putting stuff on the public cloud and like, okay, help me with this presentation. And from there, that's the company corporate confidential information. This article that I mentioned now actually touches on that like this information that this security guy actually put in there was not for public distribution. It wasn't classified, right, like government classified, but it wasn't for public distribution. So there you are. We got to watch out for that. And over here, we're going to go through some of the options that you can do. I mean, again, just going back, traffic policies, everything's hitting this web filter, I mean, or your firewall policy here. So again, when you want to look at stuff now from a different use case, I just want to get back to that little VM that we had. So you saw we were blocking traffic here for that keyword search. We blocked it because it had a banned word, it literally had Tesla in it over there. That is with this FortiClient VPN. Now, remember I showed you can turn on and off certain features. The feature set that I've chosen for this particular deployment is zero trust telemetry, right? So remote VPN access, I'm connected there, zero trust, and just sandboxing. Internally, like myself and what we do at Fortinet, oh, sorry, let's tab on the wrong thing. You can see we actually have a lot more. So we're using the malware protection, the antivirus, the anti-ransomware. There's even removable access control, guys. So I can actually restrict that. I can only use maybe a Dell or a Logitech keyboard and mouse combination. I won't just allow any type of device in there. So, I mean, I can allow thumb drives or not. I can use sandboxing. You can see actually my machine submitted 65 files and those are clean. It does the vulnerability scan that I've already shown you. In the demo that I'm using or in the box that I'm showing you on this little VM, I've obviously turned those features off. But again, I'm going to disconnect the VPN. And then in essence, what I want to show you from a different use case now is that I can still be protected using another way in. And this is using SWG. So this is agentless. So when we say there's FortiClient, then there's agentless. So I'm going to use the same VM, but over here, we're going to go and we're going to say, what is my IP address now? You can see this is the public IP address that I'm testing from my house. It's changed, but FortiClient's not connected. How do I then still protect this user? If I say don't want to install FortiClient, what I can do is use this pack file. And this is also then geo-redundant. So it will find the closest POP. So the pack file and the VPN will find the closest POP to you, and it will use that as a scrubbing center. So I've turned this on now. We can support multiple authentication methods, by the way, as well. With that on, let's go see if I open. I'm going to close this browser. It's probably going to ask me to authenticate again. We'll see. You saw I was previously authenticated with on Microsoft.net. Let's see if it's retained that cookie information. Yeah, so this is popping me up for something else. So I'm using now just my Gmail address. So I set this up as another way to show you that it's very diverse. You can have LDAP login, you can have local login, you can have SWG or your agent list using all different logins or different users, should I say, at different places. Sign in. There we go. So we're back on that. And it's the same fixed public IP. We give you a fixed public IP for your POP. So again, if same profile, if I look at where I've controlled that from now, over here, the policy that I controlled or that I looked at for SIA, for secure internet access, for this guy, right, is over here under policies. For secure web gateway, it's a proxy policy because we've changed the proxy port. I can reuse that same web filter profile. You can see it's WMC here with all that stuff. And I can actually then get the same sort of protection profile. This might be different for a different bunch of guys. It might be for contractors. It might be for users that don't want the agent on their machine. But again, just to show you what happens there when I actually access this stuff, let's get the VM here. We can search again or go to another gambling site. Oh, I've lost this guy now. It's giving me drama. I'll probably have to just try this quickly. This machine sometimes power. No, I might just need to reboot it just to see. Let's go quick. Let's just shut down, power off the machine. So we'll come back to that in a second because I want to show you a use case now with that ZTNA, and we're going to work through all of that. You saw I was able to block that guy and actually get some type of block page there. I got the public IP of the POP again. So we're going to get that guy back up and running now. But in essence, what we're covering here is that user now that had that pack file. We did the pack file updates. There's something else that's pretty cool here, Louis, is the connectivity into your secure private access. So where you have this connectivity into the internet, into the cloud, from a user that's got the agent, they can come in and get connected, get scrubbed there. Agentless as well, into your Fortinet real estate. So where you've got a situation where you've got a FortiGate, we build a secure private access tunnel. So that's the acronym Secure Private Access. That takes you into your FortiGate SD-WAN hub, and then you can participate in your hub and spoke network. If you've configured ADVPN from Fortinet, right, we can actually do spoke-to-spoke traffic offloading. So instead of your traffic going from your user maybe to Joburg, to Cape Town, back to Joburg, we can go Joburg, Cape Town, Joburg, and straight across to Cape Town, and cut out an entire path or an entire hop in the process here. So I'm just mindful of time, so I'm going to speed through this a little bit quicker. That's a shortcut tunnel that's built. So another thing that we spoke about is zero trust network access, right? So where we have the ability, and that's why everything is purple here. Think about zero trust being anything that's got the purple lines on it and in it. We can protect users going to the internet via tags and compliance. So we can check, is Warren's machine on the domain? Is Warren running antivirus? And we can go and have a look at what that looks like now. Let me just quickly do this. I get that up and running here. Let's just log in again.
Warren, you could even get granular where you can say a company only uses HP machines or Dell machines. Make sure that it only connects using those devices, right?
100%. There's so many things you can do. I mean, if you can say if there's a file on the machine, allow it or disallow it. And I mean, what I've done here, if I show you these tags, under endpoints and endpoint tags, security posture tags, what we've got here is rules for compliant, non-compliant. And I've just stated like on compliant here, I've said this machine is running antivirus. It can be any antivirus. It doesn't have to be our antivirus. It's just saying is running antivirus and it's installed and running. If I go now to what uncompliant is, or non-compliant, should I say, that's where I can say antivirus is not running. So non-compliant is antivirus not running, is not running, okay? And in which case, then I've got a rule here. If I go to security policies, now imagine stitching this into anything. You can stitch this to an application. You can stitch this to your secure private access. You can stitch this to your internet access. So, I mean, your secure private access, we would say, okay, maybe limit your access to the financial apps or limit it to the domain controller. You can see I'm just doing an any, all there. But yeah, on the secure internet access, I just want to see if we can actually get some time in here to do this. But I want to connect, this guy's still starting. But I want to show you this compliance and non-compliant tag, because what happens is every 60 seconds, I can actually use my own machine to show you this. Every 60 seconds, we do a situation where your telemetry is checked from EMS Cloud. The tags here, I don't have insight as to what Fortinet ourselves are doing here, but Zero Trust Network Access is one of them. Is MDM running is another one. So we can look if an application is started. So that's our MDM. If it's running, then you can allow or deny or whatever. And from there, every 60 seconds, it will share that telemetry. So what's great is we can either kick you off the VPN, and then give you a message to tell you why you got kicked off the VPN, or be a little bit obscure and just say, because it could be an attacker that's trying to mimic the connection, right? So you could say, listen, you've been kicked off the VPN, contact RT. Or we could just do it silently on a rule and just deny that traffic, like I'm going to show you now. If we can get there. No, we don't want to meet anybody. Going in here, you can see we've got a compliance tag, and I also want to show you the firewall rules. This VM needs more resources. So you can see what I want to do here is, let's just quickly connect the VPN as well. Okay, it's there. You can see under my test user here, I am compliant, right? So what I want to do is I want to go into a non-compliant, and I think I've got 25 seconds to do it. So I want to go into this, and I want to quickly go to manage settings, and I'm going to turn real time off. Also at the same time, yes, at the same time, I want to quickly run a ping. Come on, VM. Run. Okay, see how quick we can type. Ping 8.8.8.8, right? You can see we're pinging 8.8.8.8. Now I've got that rule that says non-compliant, compliant at the very top of my policies there. Sorry, let's go T. Okay, we're pinging. So let's go quickly see. That's not happy now, and go see on our compliancy. We've gone into non-compliance. So what we want to see is we start matching this rule at the very top. There's the deny non-compliance. So let's quickly refresh her. Oh, I'm not connected to the VPN, that's why. So because I hadn't forced that VPN connection, that's why I've dropped that non-compliant tag, but I haven't dropped the ping. So let's just quickly connect the VPN. Stop this here. Connect the VPN up. Remember, this VPN typically would always be up. And we also want to just change this compliance here now. Another thing quickly to touch on, Louis, is not only are you using these tags in the rules to either allow or drop this VPN connection, or allow access to the internet, or allow to the cloud, or allow to your SPA, you can repurpose these tags on your LAN. So if you've got a switch or access points from Fortinet, we can even go and actually go as far as using, where's it? I think I need to go to this guy. This is my home firewall, so I'm just going to give you a quick example. On the NAC policies, you can say use the EMS tag, and then you can put that person either in a working VLAN or in like a quarantine VLAN. So if you look over there and you go NAC policies, we give you NAC lights on your FortiGates. You can also use those EMS tags. You can see the same EMS tag. So that could be compliant, non-compliant as well. And based on your compliancy on the whole platform, right? So through SASE, SASE is doing the tags for you. You can repurpose them with your on-prem FortiGates and your on-prem switches and endpoints and APs. So that's the purple that's there, and that's the reason it's there. So let's quickly go back here. You can see it's asking me for my username here. I would typically just go and grab this. Let me get this on Microsoft One. Okay, so I'm just going to paste this. We're using FortiIdentity Cloud so that we can actually multi-tenant this. We can set that there's actually LDAP, so we can do LDAP, we can do Intra, we can even do Microsoft Authenticator using FortiIdentity Cloud as sort of the front end for that. So that's where we would then, you saw I logged in with my Gmail address previously with a proxy file, and I've also can log into the Intra credentials here. This VM is having it needs more resources. I've only given it 2 cores and I think 2 gigs of RAM. So I think that's why I need to actually just up it there. But let's just quickly move on. What I want to wait for that to do its thing. But what I want to show you here is also you can actually get that other devices come into FortiSASE. So thin edge devices. What do I mean here? I mean, like we can take APs, we can take access points. We can actually do different devices from Fortinet into those appliances. So let's get the rule up here. When we're looking at the actual rule set itself, it's in my Edge page, this one here. Oh, I've logged out. Let me quickly get that back up and running. Part of security, hey? If you have, you wait too long, sometimes you get timed out. That's why I try to be as fast as possible here. But let's get that back in. So I'm going to go back into my firewall as a service rule here. I mean, that's where everything, as I said, pivots from. So we've looked at the rules there. We've looked at the rules here. There's also rules for thin edges that can be, as I said, the extenders, the APs, and so on and so forth. Looking here, we'll just wait for this to quickly load up and show you then within this guy that we've got one of our security guys went to Finland. They did a security day. All he did is he took an access point with him. He registered under the FortiSASE portal. He then actually did the configuration from FortiSASE because it's got a management component in it as well, right? And he actually connected it up to then the FortiSASE POP. So when you look at our security policies here, you will see that we've got an SSID right at the bottom there. There's a SASE employee SSID and a SASE guest. That SASE guest device was actually at an open day. So you can see that's the unique IP space and subnet that it gets. We're not doing a captive portal there to actually capture user authentication. All we're doing is just using a guest profile to get the guest users in there. So let's quickly see also, the other thing as well, Louis, you can actually, once FortiClient is installed here, you can actually set that you can update FortiClient as well. So you can create an update profile. So as you need to patch FortiClient or upgrade FortiClient and your machines log in, you can set that either it does it silently, that it reboots it, or that it's interactive with the user. So once the ad agent is on, I mean, you can push it via Intune or one of your MDMs, and then from there, it's a matter of onboarding where you just take a key. Literally, for me to actually onboard or change EMSs, I just disconnect and can connect to the SASE instance. That key that you get is unique for your instance. So there's a long, like, I don't know how many digit key that actually then binds you to or links you into this POP. And that's for your instance. Another thing we do is something called branch on-ramp. So the question mark is here because we take third-party devices. Not just, I mean, Fortinet, FortiGates with your secure private access. I mean, we've done some zero trust. I've shown you what we can do there from compliant, non-compliant rules. I want to see if I can still get some time to show you that working and actually then in play. But another thing to think about is branch on-ramp. The non-Fortinet devices can come in here as a scrubbing center. If I show you the rule sets, there's actually a branch on-ramp. You can see there, branch on-ramp to internet. And then we're using that RFC for that subnet. As long as they are compliant, we can actually give them up. This doesn't have to be compliant. We can take that off. But that is any third-party device on IPsec coming into this platform. So we do cover non-Fortinet appliances as well. And then we also do something called the third-party contractors portal. That is under Zero Trust Network Access. If you look under agent lists, we will do the SSL certificate. So that's the FQDN, the long FQDN that you can actually go. There's the private IP address. Think about that as a NAT. If I go here and add this guy, let's just move this here over there. It's the front end or the reverse proxy for this FortiManager. So I'll be prompted for a set of credentials here, which will be entry credentials. And then if I enter those in, I'll get prompted again for, the FortiManager credentials. So while that loads, let's just finish up on the slides, because in essence here is in finalizing the slide or wrapping it up, you can export your data logs. I mean, we give you 7 days worth of analytics. If you've used FortiAnalyzer before, you will see that it's available here from operations, generated reports or scheduled reports. You're familiar with the FortiAnalyzer reports, top talkers, top websites, top threats, all those things. And from there, we do 7 days. And if you want to export that, you can export that to your own analyzer and also integrated with FortiManager. From a services or a bundle of grouped elements, when you're licensing this, we sell you license of standard or advanced. I'm going to quickly go through what you get. So, I mean, I've been through everything that we've already seen from DLP, CASB, ZTNA, endpoint protection, the secure web gateway and firewall as a service. You get the dedicated IPs. We've seen all of that, right? I want to show you quickly SOC as a service, endpoint forensics, and digital experience monitoring. I don't have time to go through the platform live now. You can see there's a bit of a delay on the cloud, and we're short of time. So I'm just going to spin through it quickly on the slide deck. Over here, you can see we support our POP locations. That's for standard. On advanced, we support Fortinet POP locations and Google POP locations, AWS as well. You can see the asterisk is over here for comprehensive. That's the most expensive SKU that we have. But what happens is we guarantee you access to those public cloud locations. With the advanced, which is a lot less dear from a price point of view, we will give you both locations, public cloud and our locations, our physical locations. And I'll show you what it looks like now on the map. But we do give you both, and we have the right to basically push you onto our own POP should we see that, we want to take you off the public cloud and put you onto the Fortinet cloud. So that's the only difference between the asterisks there. From a minimum order quantity, it's 50 users. We give you 3 devices per user. So if you actually have 50 users and you license 50, you can actually install FortiClients on 150 devices. Imagine that you're getting vulnerability patching on that. Then you're getting AV, RPS, malware inspection with all the endpoints on those 150 devices. It actually makes it quite attractive from a TCO point of view. SOC as a service, I mean, here's all the POPs. You can see we've got 2 in Johannesburg. That's relative to our chat. When you look at now the digital experience monitoring, we can tell you what is happening from every cloud application. You can create custom applications as well. I've done one to my website to see what the packet loss, latency, and jitter is from the different POPs. You can see we've got Frankfurt, Germany, South Africa. You get 4 POPs when you buy this product. By default, you choose where you want them, where your users are. You can take the 2 in Johannesburg and just use the 2 in Johannesburg if your users aren't traveling. And from there, like any application, packet loss, latency, jitter available to you. You can also then graph your users. So I did this last night. I was saying, okay, well, let me test Salesforce from my machine because I was having a bit of a hiccup, or I thought I was. And you can see on my first top, I'm getting 17 milliseconds. This really helps you with like trying to identify an issue for a user. You can quickly, without asking the user for a trace route or ping, you can actually do that from their machine, from the platform. So also it gives you visibility into their CPU, their memory, their disk usage. You can that is now digital experience monitoring. Part of the product part of even standard is we give you like a software inventory to tell you the software that's on your machine. You can filter according to when it was installed, the vendor. We give you the vulnerability management and incident response here, so you can see what CVEs are there. You can patch them. You can see them. SOC as a service is really cool, guys. If you don't have a SOC already, Fortinet do the triage for you. It's part of the product. All 150 of those endpoints basically send logs off to the cloud. The FortiSASE POP also sends logs to the cloud. We use our own SIM-SAW appliances, so incident management, automated response, AR in the cloud. We use that to do the triage. And you can see we've taken 9.4 million logs. There were literally 144 incidents here. Fortinet did the triage here and brought it down to 67. Only 4 were actually notified to the client or to the partner. Depending on how you set up the system, you can actually have that your partner does this for you, or you have insight on it. We will call you, or we will email you, or we'll generate a ticket that you have access to. If it's a SEV1, we'll notify you within 15 minutes that now there's a SEV1. What you can also do is you can set custom notifications here. You might not be interested if someone cleared the security logs on an endpoint, but that usually means that someone's trying to cover their tracks. You can see that actually has been set to on, and that's a high. So we'll notify you on that. You can also request assistance. So, I mean, yeah, a user had a situation where, and this is the forensic analysis report that you can actually do from the same team. We can say that this user opened a phishing email with a WeChat link. It was yesterday. We uninstalled or removed what we thought was the WeChat exe. We rebooted and we cleaned the browser. It's a malicious email and it's an intrusion attempt, guys. Please, can you investigate it for us? From there, you'll see you get like a clean, suspicious, or compromised report back. I'm going to show you an example from a few years ago, just so that you've got it.
You got 1 minute. You got 1 minute, and then we're going to open Q&A, right?
100%. So you can see WeChat was run every minute. What happened there is the execution of that actual file, the WeChat exe, the VBSs, the payloads. We actually, from Fortinet, from the actual SOCAS team, recommend that machine gets wiped. This is just an example. We might give you some other key elements to do on that machine. Leaving you with some other insights just for SOC as a service. What we found with customers that are actually running our SOC as a service is we get that dwell time down to less than an hour. So if someone's exfiltrating data or sitting on an endpoint or sitting on a machine or sitting on an environment, it takes up to 21 days without any security, without any SOC interaction or any of the type of SIM, SAW, SIM, or SOCAS products or services. It could not even be detected. You can see we bring 12 hours of containment, investigation, and remediate down to less than an hour. So we recommend that advanced license, guys. It really makes sense. And if it can leave you with some key takeaways, you got the single console. I mean, you're controlling your branch on-ramp. You're controlling your contractors. You're controlling your APs. You can also bring in your FortiGates. You can do your end users. You can do agent lists. You actually can also then do the zero trust, as I mentioned. Or is antivirus running? Is it not? Happy to do breakaway sessions with you guys individually to show the zero trust in action too. This is just a very quick high level, and thank you so much. Louis, let's open it up.
Awesome, Woz. Thank you very much. Thanks for all the information. Like I said, I don't think 45 minutes is quick enough. But if you guys want to have more information, reach out to your account managers. Woz, Pete asked the question on the topic of uploading documents to ChatGPT. Is it currently possible to block this on an on-premise FortiGate appliance?
It should be, yes, as long as you've got application control, web filtering, and a DLP license. So there is a DLP license that you have to do on your gates. So that's something you should be able to do.
Perfect.
You'll need DPI for that as well, Louis. So you have to be scanning inside. You can either block ChatGPT altogether without deep packet inspection, but you'd need it to differentiate between normal ChatGPT text and file uploads. It has to be scanning those files.
Nice. Thanks, Ty. Was another one from Kev. Are you able to replicate or centrally deploy SASE, SSE rules with local branch firewalls for internet access?
So so you have, there's about a two-part answer to that question. I mean, you can use your FortiManager to have a centralized configuration of your firewall rule sets as well as your objects. So if you've got a web filter object on your FortiGates that are deployed out in the field or in the wild, that engineer profile or that engineer web filter could be the same on the actual FortiGate and then the FortiSASE POP. The other way you could do that without FortiManager for an SME is you could actually license your FortiGates as thin edges actually to come into your FortiSASE POP for central scrubbing. So you can actually offset some of the actual scrubbing. Instead of doing it on the gate, you can use that the gate then becomes an extension of FortiSASE, and actually you do it centrally at FortiSASE. I hope that answers the question. It's like a two-part potential answer there.
Correct, Josh. If we need to deep dive it with Kev, we can. Was another question that comes up quite often. How does FortiSASE ZTNA compare with a traditional VPN?
You can use it, and the best way to do is to show it. You don't need to actually VPN. So what you could do potentially is use a TLS tunnel. So you publish on FortiSASE that there's a ZTNA destination, and that ZTNA destination sits behind a FortiGate. So if you've got a FortiGate there, it's almost like a reverse proxy of an application that's now residing there. We can use the same tags, like I showed you, compliant, non-compliant. And what happens is the certificate is unique to your machine and to your session and for that 60-second duration. And what happens is when you actually try access that application, it could be a public application or a local application. What happens is your machine then creates a tunnel using the certificate and using TLS, not using VPN, using IPsec, using TLS, the same way you access your banking, Louis. It will create a TLS tunnel directly to the FortiGate you need to get to and process that. In that process of that tunnel, you can fingerprint the tags on ZTNA as well and say, Warren is compliant, allow him through. So there's a two-part thing. It checks the certificate. It checks, okay, is it right for those 60 seconds? It checks the tags, and then from there it builds a TLS tunnel. That's completely different to your traditional dial-up VPN, because it's as you request the application, it creates a dynamic TLS tunnel session directly to that application.
Nice. Another question was, for vendor VPN, is there any change or still the FortiClient, no PRA equivalent like Zscaler?
You have to use FortiClient. FortiClient is the inherent, if you're doing an agent-based or user-based connection, that is you have to use, it's IPsec VPN. We are moving away from SSL VPN, but it is FortiClient. It's underpinned by FortiClient. We do offer agentless, which is then using that pack file as an alternative. But no, not the other option as mentioned.
Yeah, and the nice thing as well, obviously with the FortiSASE solution, it's one interface. So you've got the ZIA, ZPA, and the ZDX all on one sort of single interface, where other technologies you have to connect and log into the 3 different interfaces. One last question from my side. What's the difference between FortiSASE and hosting my own FortiGate in the cloud?
You can do either. Like we give you obviously that digital experience monitoring. You won't get that with just your own FortiGate in the cloud. You won't be able to do things like that orchestration, centralized orchestration. If you've got a single FortiGate in the cloud, you're managing that single FortiGate, right? We're giving you 4 POPs. So 4 locations that are like 5 nines uptime. If you got your single gate in the cloud, we don't know what the uptime is of that. You have to manually configure all the policies, profiles, and there's integration there that you would not have partial, okay, with like then, the likes of your integration with access points remotely dialing in, access points connecting in, these bells and whistles like digital experience monitoring that I've mentioned, the SOC as a service bundling. Yeah, sure, you can license that FortiGate with SOC as a service as well. So every single, also just as a note, SOC as a service is available to any FortiGates out there. There's other devices and appliances and even third parties you can license for on SOC as a service, just as a FYI. So, but yes, you'd have to look at the uptime. You look after the uptime, you look after the power, you look after the configuration. We do that all. It's a SaaS offering, turnkey. That's it. the biggest
Awesome.
differentiators I can come up with.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Guys, we have 1 minute left. Any questions from any of the attendees? If you want to raise your hand, raise it. Jess, are you checking out for me, please? Any other questions, guys? Any other questions? So, guys, it was quite a lot of information that Warren presented today. I know it's quite a lot of information. So, like I previously said, reach out to your relevant Torito account manager, and we'll do follow-up sessions. Once again, a massive thank you from myself, the Torito team, for attending this event. Like I said, it's the biggest event that we've had to date for Bits and Bytes. We had over 70 people. So, a massive thank you to everyone that has joined us. Thank you, Warren, for your presentation. Always insightful and obviously a lot of learning for us. And then just a special thank you to my marketing ladies for organizing this event and that. So guys, have an absolutely epic Thursday afternoon, and thank you once again. And we're going to wrap it up. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Cheers.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, team. Cheers.